Okay, my Gnosis on pop culture magic. How I see it. Okay, I was talking to God, and I was talking to Lucifer, and I did a reading with myself, and I asked the characters that we make up, right? The stories that we make to show the world and the plots and everything, do they exist outside of this realm? Can they exist outside of this realm? Right? So, the answer I had for tarot reading was the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Prince of Wands, according to the Tazio Tarot that I just got yesterday. The pop. Okay, so the answer that I got, that I interpreted, is that with the Eight of Wands represent messages, ideas coming to the conscience, the genius of our mind, and how ideas come from nowhere. They come from nowhere, and they come from everywhere, because we get our ideas based off what we know too, and what we see in the world. But we also could get ideas that come from nowhere. That's a genius mind. We all have it. That I believe. I believe we all have it. We're all capable of doing that. Just have to listen. So that's the Eight of Wands. And then the Ten of Cups explains to me that the characters could exist, could quote unquote exist in the collective consciousness. Something where all imaginations and thoughts go. Because these thoughts and imaginations, they go somewhere. They don't just poof out of nowhere. They're not needlessly wasteful. You see, they go to another part of ourselves or another part of the universe, because our thoughts affect everything. We are part of the collective consciousness. Everything we do affects everything else. So if you think about it, if humans all work together, literally work together on a certain project or a certain plot or a certain thing, it will happen. It will happen. That means we're capable of anything if we actually work on that. So because our thoughts become real. So that's what I've got from the Ten of Cups. So the characters that we make actually go to a part of that consciousness. Then the Prince of Wands is another one. The Prince of Wands is an enthusiastic, loud, strong attention seeker. And what I got from that is that God, well, the spirit, what I would say for me, is trying to get my attention to understand where that knowledge is coming from. get my attention, pay attention, stay focused onto what you're reading. And with that, I did, and then I have the understanding, what if all these things that we create exist in another reality? What I'm saying is my Gnosis, my unverified personal Gnosis, UPGs. That's what I'm coming up with. And to me, it makes sense because of the spiritual journey that I have accumulated through. Our thoughts have effect on everything and anything. Our thoughts could be used as strengths and extended limbs of ourselves to change things, to affect things. So pop culture magic, to me, is actually using that idea of that creation from another creation, that the author or mangaka or artist, whatever, that create that character and that create that world. We reuse that into our conscious mind and apply that to life in this reality. And I think applying that to our lives in this reality, making it thus real for us, that to me is pop culture magic. That to me is pop culture witchcraft. Because we're taking what we create that exists somewhere in another consciousness, in another realm, and bringing it to this realm, to this reality, thus making it real. So I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how to do that myself in terms of other stories that I have come up with. Like, I'm trying to understand what my stories are like and what my characters are like that I create, and how I'm low-key applying it to my life. I don't know if this is a babble or not, but I have to put that out there. I think that's what the source, I think that's the main gist, purpose of a pop culture witchcraft. I don't think it's like literally you believe this thing is real for real and you worship it and all that, da, da, da. You could do that. You could do anything. But I also think that it's also cool to consider that these are ideas that we could have control over, that is tangible, and we could falter whichever way that we can. It's power, it's intelligence. We are a part of that collective intelligence. If whoever's watching could do their research about what collective conscious means, universal thought, energy. Do your research on that, because with that thought, with that knowledge, you will understand what I'm talking about better. Knowledge is power. Research, research, research. Right? When you have that, then you apply it to pop culture magic. You combine that together. You alchemize that. By alchemizing it, you create thus witchcraft. That's what witchcraft truly is. It's like, it's actually creation. The art form is witchcraft, and the magic is the substance within it. At least that's what I believe. Yeah. I wanted to put that out there, because I practice written down some pop culture magic. Pop culture spells. I did. I've written them down in a journal. Because, okay, let's say I don't want to say fan, or I'm lying. I am a fan of JJK. And I see a lot of stuff in JJK that could be applied in real life, because it's actually based on certain things that is used in actual sorcery, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to sound stupid, but basically, if you do your research, the hand signs, the act of energy, purpose, energy, spirits that are created, like, we learn that, we learn that certain things that we create in our minds in JJK world is cursed spirits based on the bad emotions of our minds and the bad emotions of our hearts. But in this world, we will call them egregores. Like the idea of a certain deity, they could be egregores. We don't know that for sure, but they could be egregores. So there's egregores or servitors, spirits that we create to come out into this world. That's in JJK. It's just not called that. They just call them cursed spirits, and energy magic is just called cursed energy. Like, so while I was writing down the spells, these pop culture spells in regard of JJK verse, I don't look at them as literal. I look at them as like ideas, and my spells are enthused by the idea of JJK into realism and applied to this life. And using the idea of the names that's in JJK, and using the idea of the techniques basically that is used in JJK, and alchemize it, basically transforming it into another thing that we can use in our lives, that I can use in my life. And I find it very cool. Like, it's really cool to have an enthusiastic spellbook on certain anime that could explain magic in its own way. Yeah, that's my gnosis. And that's that's my personal gnosis, unverified personal gnosis of what I think, of what I've learned, and how I see it. Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's cool. The whole idea. Just imagine, like, these realms that exist outside of ourselves. Like the world of JJK or something. Or the world of, let's say, a book, like a long time book, Dante's Inferno. Let's say these things do exist somewhere. And we came up with it out of nowhere to exist, you know? I don't know if you have any idea or understanding of what I've said for the past 16 minutes. I would love to see it in the comments. I like to chat about that because it's cool. It's a cool gnosis. Because knowledge is power, for real. Knowledge is entirely power. So I would like to look into that with you guys, whoever's watching, you know, and I appreciate you watching this far. Thank you very much. And please leave a like if you like, or subscribe. Thank you for hearing me out.